Hello and welcome to another edition of Caged Full Throttle, the only banger podcast that brings you the latest meeting reports, news, fixtures and more from around the world of banger racing across the country. So with myself, Matt Josie, as always, are my three panellists. We first of all say good evening to Jordan Holland. Good evening, Jordan.
Good evening, Matt. Good evening, everyone else.
We also say good evening to James Keane.
Good evening, Matt. Good evening to all the listeners tonight.
And finally, all the way from Ireland, good evening to Ed Fahey.
Good evening, Cage Nation.
So also tonight we've got our regular features, the Mouldy quiz and the message board, along with everything else. And we're going to kick things off with our meeting report, which is, of course, from the first annual Cage-sponsored meeting at Stanley Arena on Sunday a week ago for under 1800cc non-Mondeo national bangers and unlimited national bangers. I'm going to pass you over to Jordan, who's got a report from the meeting, and then after that we'll discuss the whole day as a little team. So, Jordan, take it away.
Thank you, Matt. And for our first annual caged meeting, a great field of around 75 cars turned up at the Stanley Arena over the two classes, with the unlimited having 26 cars in attendance and the under 1800cc national non-Mondeo bangers having a much bigger field of 50 cars. So moving on to the action. There was a small train on Heat 1 of Unlimited Heat 1 that involved 155 Phillips getting jacked by a 388 Lump, 114 Lakey pulled into 226 Bricknell, and there were loads of other great hits going in there as well. 622 Stuart Davis was jacked on the entrance to Turn 1 by a 384 John Golden, unfortunately ending Stewie's day with no spares to repair his battered 240 estate. Heat 2 was fairly quiet, but it still involved some good action, including 260 Keithy following in 114 Lakey. 103 Jack Deacon attacked 538 Curtis Salvage, who was racing in his first unlimited meeting, and smeared him around the barrier. 625 Josh Gooch then came in and jacked 538 Salvage, who was then also hit by 199 Tom Pearce. The grand final saw 114 Lakey attack 777 Dalton 969. That took a wild lunge at 209 Tom Muller, who was out for his first race of the day, burying himself into the Armco barriers on turns 1 and 2, and took an almighty hit from 199 Tom Pearce in his large yank. Unfortunately, 969 that suffered a leg injury because of the hit, so we wish him all the best. The restart saw 114 Lakey have a little revenge nibble at 260 Keithy from early run, eventually putting him away. 65 Josh Gooch jacked 161 Billy Smith, who was followed in earlier in the race by 360 Jack Reynolds on turns 3 and 4. 822 Smokey then picked up 161 Smith and followed him in on turns 1 and 2, bringing an end to his day. For the dash into DD, 136 Adrian Court spun 260 Keith Reynolds, allowing 199 Tom Pearce to attack 136 Adrian Court, T-boning him hard through the passenger doors. 625 Josh Gooch jacked 199 Tom Pearce, blowing up his engine, before 360 Jackstar also weighed in on 199 Tom Pearce. Now on to the DD. 260 Keith Reynolds jacked 777 Dalton twice, and then weighed in on his son Jack, winning the Demolition Derby in a battered Volvo 740 estate, which was actually used before the meeting and still drove off track afterwards, so I don't think Keithy managed to kill off his car that he was planning to. Now, the unders class was dominated by the Ford Focuses and Vauxhall Spheres, with number 14, Steve Stillwood, having probably the car of the meeting, if not definitely the car of the class with his beautifully presented, proper old school looking Ford Capri, whilst the Wixon brothers, Adam and Brad, had two very beautifully turned out Vauxhall Saphiras that were very nicely signed and supporting Caged on, so thank you to them guys for that. They were involved in the action in the first 1800cc race of the day with a massive wrecking train on turns 1 and 2 involving FBI, who I believe they're warring with at the moment. As well as that, there was a small pile up on turns 3 and 4 that also saw some big hits going in. Heat 2 was a lot less quiet, and it involved 703. Scott Whitaker launching in 456 Tezza. Number 14, Stillwood jacked 302 Baker. Number 17, Cross jacked 294 Reggie. 560 Gary Reynolds in his Citroen Zara, a very unusual car, jacked 418 Amy. 246 Bertie attacked 88 Bullbag Billy Page. And the red flags were brought out due to 92 losing a wheel. The restart was a bit tame, involving 369 Ratlin, 747 Piglet Eddie Cotton around Liamco. Now for Heat 3, Heats 3 and 4 again, they were split half and half. 703 Scott Whitaker was involved in the action again. 545 Mini Wilkes took a massive jacking from 479 Ghost on the back straight, with both drivers getting out and shaking hands after Wilkes came back around after that big hit. But it was good to see both drivers get out and shake hands. And Heat 4 was probably the most quiet race in the unders class. Not much action really to note there. I only saw 19 cars out on track. 794 Scotty set about 170 Darren Till. Number 14 Stiggy jacked 794 Scotty before getting jacked up himself. 226 Bricknell followed in 44 Bunny, with Bunny Jr. on hand to deliver a shot on 226 Bricknell, carrying on their war. 720 Gabriel followed in the Ford Capri of number 14 Stiggy in his Ford Capri, bringing an end to his day, but I have been told that Ford Capri will be ready for the Heavy Metal Classic event in early January. So that'll be good to watch out for that one. Moving on to the final, it raised 30 cars and 170 till was set about by 369 DT. 84 Langridge attacked 784 Irish Andy, and he continued his wrecking spree by jacking 226 Bricknell. 703 Scott Whitaker piled in on 84 Langridge, with 325 Wiggles Adam Wixon T-boning 226 Bricknell, but left himself prone to a jacking by 184. 747 Eddie Cotton then piled into Wixon and 325, bringing out the Reds, with the latter not comfortable in taking any more shots. The restart saw 169 JT set about 791 Tricky, 172 jacked 784 Irish Shandy, who came under fire from 88 Bullbag. 172 jacked 418 Amy, and number 7 Aaron Charles took the win. The DD saw 12 cars out on track, which, to be fair, probably wasn't as many as we were hoping, but due to the action of the day, no one could really blame the drivers. It was a great DD, with the final 3 cars actually catching fire and still trying to crash into each other, bringing an explosive end to the first ever caged meeting. And I'm sure we're going to talk about it in a minute, but I just have to say, from myself, thank you to all drivers for all your efforts throughout the day. It was a brilliant meeting and a memorable one for me as well. So thank you for all your efforts, and let's make 2019 bigger and better.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan, for that report from the first ever Cage Sponsors meeting at Stanley Lake Arena. Got a lot to talk about, obviously. We're going to discuss the meeting as it happened, but a brilliant first meeting. To get 75 in the first year was brilliant. We're going to try and push for 100 cars next year. Maybe 90 would be nice as well, if we can hit 90 cars on the day. But I'd like to say, thank you to all the drivers and spectators who turned up on the day. Quick mention to the Unlimited drivers as well. It was great to see a decent grid for them, including 3 Yanks. 2 of them were used, but of course the fresh Chrysler New Yorker of 388 Taylor Sauter was brilliant to see that on track. Our first ever meeting as well. So, James, what did you think of the meeting? Good first meeting for Cage Sponsored meeting?
Oh, it was absolutely amazing. It's one of the most enjoyable banger meetings I've gone to in a very long time. And I know I'm biased saying that, but seeing our name on it and the racing that happened all day, it was... I think even if you're unbiased, you have to say it was an absolutely fantastic meeting. From the start, with the 2 unders categories, the first 2 heats were absolutely fantastic racing. In the Unlimited, you had cars coming out that you might not expect to see at a December meeting in Stanley like that. The whole way through, it was fantastic. Seeing the drivers enjoying themselves like that. When we awarded the special awards as well, the drivers actually seemed happy to win them. I think we made a few days in that, especially seeing people come over on the ferry from the Isle of Wight, seeing Lump turn up in his Yank, seeing I can't remember his name, but the guy went out in Joey's Yank, having a great time. I don't really think I could ask for much more. And Matt, I just want to say this as well, because this was your brainchild, this was your baby. You've been working on this so much, and I think everyone at Cage want to say thank you, Matt Josie, for putting on such a great event, and we're all really happy to be a part of it.
I feel embarrassed now, but thank you. Sticking with that one. But yeah, it was brilliant. Like I say, thank you to everyone who turned up on the day, but we look forward to next year's meeting, bigger and even better, hopefully, with more awards, hopefully a bigger grid of cars, and just as much action, if not more. So yeah, Ed, you wasn't there, but do you have any thoughts on the meeting?
It looked good. No, it looked good. People were just there to have a crash, have a bit of fun. There was obviously there's the biggest ever title in banger racing, the reinforced titanium platinum roof to be had, so somebody can wear that with pride for the rest of the season and on to next year. But no, it looked like a good meeting. Didn't take itself too seriously, which is what it's all about at the end of the day, have a bit of fun.
Yeah, definitely. And also well done as well to, what's his name? I think is it Jack Langridge from the Isle of Wight? Putting a lot of miles to race at the meeting. Went to UK Open night before to spectate, went back to Isle of Wight, and then come back again the following day to race at Stan Lake. So also well done to him as well for his efforts.
He was so close. He was so close to winning Entertainer of the Day, but he'd already won the Merit Award for his efforts. So we thought we might as well split the trophies around. He might have gone home with 2 trophies, but absolutely Entertainer. He made sure he was out there. And when I gave him the award and said, "Oh, have you enjoyed your day?" Like he just said, "Oh, it's been brilliant. I can't wait for next year." So I think if the drivers are going home excited and have had a good day, I think we're onto something here. Yeah,
definitely. But we look forward to next year's meeting, which has already been confirmed for Sunday, the 1st of December 2019. The unders have definitely been confirmed as non-Mondays again, and hopefully the Unlimiteds will be back again for next year's meeting. But we move on now to the news, and there's a little bit to catch up on over the past 3 weeks. So the first bit of big news is regarding the PRI World Final for National Bangers. It is moving to Mendips for 2019 with a date of Sunday, the 25th of August. Ed, have you got any views on this? Bit of a shocking twist, but I suppose it's great to keep the name living on.
It is, but I mean, some people, you'll have the purists who say, well, it just isn't the same because it's not an arena. It's like, say, all of the meetings that were once at Wimbledon, for example, the World Final and all that migrated away from Wimbledon. So some people say, oh, it just isn't the same anymore, is it? So, but I mean, Mendips is a good track. It's one of these tracks you're always guaranteed a bit of action at it. So I'd say 40 or 50 odd Mondales going around there now would be interesting to say the least. But I think I'm gonna have to sit on the fence that I never say I like sitting on, but we'll have to see how this first meeting goes first before we can say yes, that was a good idea, or no, that was a bad idea. But you don't know till you try. Yeah, and I think it's important to try and keep the name going anyway. So that'd be interesting anyway next year. But it is officially the oldest title in banger racing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's older than the It's the original World Final.
So we've got to try and
first World Final.
We've got to try and keep it going somehow. So I think Mendip's fair play. They're going to try it, and if it works, then brilliant. So we'll wait and see on that one.
I think this is the thing. I think people getting too caught up in the fact that it's called the PRI National Banger World Final, when in fact it's the ORCI PRI National Banger World Final. So technically, if Mendip's won it, they can have it, and I wish them all the luck because I really want to see this championship carry on.
Oh yeah, no, that's a very fair point. Too right.
Yeah, definitely. And
sorry, I just thought I had to say that.
No, always welcome to make a comment. And the 2019 Bears Bash at the Arlington Raceway, which is scheduled for Saturday the 13th of July, is, would you believe, already fully booked. So well over 100 cars booked in for that one already. Of course, early days, you could still get loads booking out and no shows on the day, but it's great to see that one fully booked once again for a good cause. 99 Scott Goff won the Kings Lynn Unlimited Nutcracker Sunday just gone. And then going back to the Midlands, we have Birmingham, the champion of champions for Unlimited Bangers. That was won by 25 Joe Parsons. I'm sure, James, you want to mention this meeting. Quite an entertaining night.
Yeah, with about 20 minutes notice, I turned up to the pit gate and was asked to, with about 20 minutes notice, to marshal the pit gate, which gave me the absolute grandstand view for one of the absolute hits of the year. As 25 came over the line, he was picked up by a guy a lap behind him, and I have never seen a frog eye bend like that as it went in. Luckily, the driver got out. He called for the red straight away as he went in, as you would with an impact. Luckily, he was able to get out of the car straight away. The wheel had moved back quite a bit, but luckily he's quite a small guy and was able to dodge that hit. As I ran round, then looked in the car. Where's the driver gone? Because he'd got out straight away. But if you've seen the videos, you'll know just how big that hit is, and that's probably one of the biggest follow-ins I've ever seen. And to see a frog-eye bend like that, I don't think I've ever seen that in National Bangers before.
Just seems to be the case at Birmingham Wheels on the pit bend. For whatever reason, like you said, all the follow-ins there are just mental. But whatever way the track is, you're nearly going in a straight line. Like, it's nearly straight line speed. You could probably need to grab third gear on that straight if you wanted to. But no, very lucky that he walked away. But I suppose it says a lot about his scrutineering because, say, if a poorly built car had been put in like that, I don't even want to think about it.
No, definitely, that's very important. And the night before the cage meeting, we had the annual Unlimited UK Open Championship at Ringwood on the 1st of December, and that was won by 757 Callum Gill. And James, we were both there that night, and must say it was a decent meeting, over 100 cars. Each race had its moments, plenty of action, some great cars, plenty of limos as well, quite a lot of them, also including the kiddies race, which we both quite enjoyed watching. So,
yeah, we did. I mean, it does seem quite funny that we're coming back from this meeting. For both of us, it was a bit of a last-minute decision. We knew we was at Stanley the next day, and it was a bit of a last-minute decision. Oh, shall we go down to Ringwood the day before? Now, we were there for the kiddies meetings, and you've mentioned the limos. We did manage to miss the T-Bone of the year.
Yeah, we did.
T-Bone of the decade.
Of the decade, more like. Yeah, we left just before the Destruction Derby because we had an early start the next day for Stan Lake, but gutted to miss that. Obviously, the huge T-Bone that almost went straight through the limousine. Definitely a hit on the limo of the decade.
I think the one thing I would say is that maybe they could jig the race order around a bit, because they put the 1 litre stock cars on after you'd had the 3-banger last chance qualifiers, and then, well, the 3-banger qualifiers, and then you had the 2 consolation races, and then the stock cars. Maybe you should put that in the middle. Yeah, maybe balance the evening out a bit.
But still, we'll also say well done to Adam Robinson. It was his last meeting this National Banger rep at Ringwood Raceway, so we wish him all the best, and it was a good send-off for him, definitely. So,
oh no, it's absolutely great night of racing. It's the first time I've been to Ringwood in about 6 years, and it's a great arena to watch banger racing at. The way you have such a great view of all of the track, it's a great place for banger racing, and yeah, I wish him all the best in the future, and well done on his last UK Open organisation.
I was going to say, I'm going back to that T-bone. I think that's the closest we've ever seen to the stereotypical hit that somebody has wanted to do on a Lincoln limousine, to actually split it in half. So wait until the next one, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get that one day.
Broken show as well. Actually going in.
Well, it's unfortunate that the only bad thing was the hen party had been taken out of it beforehand.
Oh, Ed, you're treading on ice there.
Ed's comments do not represent all of us here at Caged. If you have any queries, please take them up with Ed yourself.
I'm disappointed in both of you that you did not stay until the end of the D. That shows non-dedication of Banger Racing.
I must admit,
you have to stay till the end.
Cold and raining, and you weren't there.
I must admit, when you two told me the next day at Stanley, I wanted to hit you both, because how could you miss that hit? That
doesn't make me and James, proper banger acts, does it? Staying right to the end. So yeah,
we were there though. We were the only two that were actually there.
Yeah, and you're probably in the big bumper-to-bumper queue on the way out. Next thing you hear, this absolutely massive roar. Never mind the crash itself, the roar off the crowd. Then, we just missed something good there. Damn.
Well, there was a bigger Open Championship the next day. We had to go make sure we were back in time for that. So.
Yeah,
very clever.
Even though we had about 8-9 hours to spare, but yeah.
These are the Diet Coke of banger acts. Just 1 calorie, not dedicated enough.
Oh, I love this, I do. And just quick, last bit of news I got is regarding the Yarmouth Back to Basic fixture on the 30th of December. It's now fully booked with 110 Back to Basic bangers. Would you believe it? You wouldn't think, of course, the Back to Basic classes very successful down at Eastbourne and Aldershot, but Great Yarmouth has done really well in the last year or so for the Back to Basics, now hitting 110 for this December the 30th fixture, so that is definitely one possibly worth going to if you're around that date. And that closes the news, and we've got a quick discussion this week, not too much, a bit of a light-hearted one really, and it's regarding the best and worst TV coverage of banger racing. This was suggested by Ed for Heath, so I guess, do you want to get us started on this?
Yeah, just more so terrestrial coverage of banger racing on television stuff, BBC, ITV, Channel 5, and some of the satellite channels. So, unfortunately, some of the brilliant demo derby films that are on the likes of Vimeo and YouTube, they can't be suggested. Well, I suppose we go back to the early editions of Top Gear. They've done Caravans, they've done Siamese, they've done Reliance, but they haven't really. It's only been the usual 5 to 7 minute section, and the Top Gear people involved either get completely creamed out of it or they seem to do okay. Recall was that Tony Mason did the Reliant Robbins. He actually finished the World Final. He was seeded directly into the World Final and he finished it. So at least that's something. But then again, when they did the Siamese bangers at Hensford, they got. I think minced would be a small way to describe what happened to them, but the other two programs that stick out with banger racing and Sunday Drivers. Actually, we're going to say what we'll do is we're actually going to put some links to these on YouTube. Sorry, the YouTube links to these on the Cage Facebook page after, so you can have a look at them. We might be able to discuss this for later on, but Sunday Drivers is a good one because it basically focuses on a few banger drivers. One of them being, of course, Dave King, who unfortunately is no longer with us. It's basically a few things that Kingy said. Like, this documentary was made, I think it was 1995, so quite some time ago, but a few things that Kingy says are still very much applied to current racing. One of them is that the biggest problem with bangers is building the cars. That's he says, if I could turn up every time the car we build straight away, I'll be happy with that. But he says the biggest pain with banger racing is building the cars. It also focuses on the first Rolls Royce ever to be raced. It was a Silver Shadow by a guy called John Chambers, team called the Bad Boys. And you see a few other before they were famous banger stars in this, are some fairly youthful drivers back then who are now quite legends of the sport, Nuddy Nudge being one of them. The other program I'll bring in, it's not really strictly banger racing, but it was the Louis Theroux documentary on Demo Derby in America. The only reason I'll bring this in is it's the only basically banger racing Demo Derby documentary I've ever seen where they didn't dub in crash noises when the cars hit each other. So you actually do hear the bang that you get when a car hits each other hard. That's the main reason. Like, I'm a big fan of Louis Theroux anyway. He always does a good documentary, but this one seems to just stick out a bit more, obvious, for very obvious reasons. But I'll leave it to the rest of you to decide. Is there anything else worth mentioning?
For me personally, I've only watched 3 Banger TV shows, and that was Banger Boys. I think it was Fast and Fearless was one of them. That was Marina Essex, and Bangers to Smash, the 1990s Banger show. Banger Boys was overall probably my favourite, following the Dreamers Banger team. I thought it was well put together each week, showcasing a few meetings per episode. Fast and Fearless, the first episode I didn't really enjoy, but the second one was a lot better. That was the Granada meeting, wasn't it? I think. So that was really good.
Episode, I think the first episode was based around the Firecracker, and then the second one was based around the Old Boys.
Yeah, the second one was a lot better.
The first episode, I was going to say, the first one was diabolical because they said this is about banger racing, and they spent half the time talking about a guy who raced mini stocks.
Yeah.
Like, what's that got to do with banger racing? Yeah. And then he says, I'm like Nigel Mansell. I says to himself, son, you weren't even born when Nigel Mansell was doing his thing, so I don't know where
Alfie is still my girlfriend's favourite stock car driver on the basis that he looked like a kid a small ginger kid racing, therefore that every time she saw him in a stock, goes, oh, that's that kid off the TV show. So it did something for his career.
Then you'd I see the police have been called already. But what was the other one there? And then, no, we see the first episode jumped around too much, but the second episode was far better. So I think maybe you played it.
I agree with that, because the first episode covered, I think, the PRI World Final, Firecracker. It looked at Alfie Jones's season and his battle with the Mouldies. So yeah, it did feel a little bit unstructured at times. And I remember reading this online. The reason that people hated it was because, I know you just mentioned about the noises they put over things, Ed.
Yeah.
In the mini stocks on board, they put a V8 engine over it to make the car sound better, which is a bit annoying, really, because we all know the mini stocks, they don't make the loudest noise, but in my opinion, a good grid of them, they still make a bit of a racket, especially when the bumpers are going in. So and sometimes it wasn't really needed. And
finally, my last comment was regarding Bangers of Smash, which I loved watching. It was good, but obviously had the dubbing sound effects of the tyres screeching, the boom, and these massive action replays for like a little spin or whatever, and it was that was a bit over the top, but that's about my own experience.
You had Rob Porter commentating, of course, and that obviously made it a million times better.
A lot better. But yeah, you still had the old action replays of like a little spin or whatever. But yeah,
the other thing, man, as someone from the inside looking at the documentary, basically aimed at people from the outside, do you ever think that it doesn't really do justice to what we see every week? It's because it's like by trying to make it more palatable for the general viewer, it doesn't really capture the atmosphere and the excitement and the energy that we see every week. And I don't know, is it maybe just, I don't want to say dumbed down, but essentially, dumbed down enough for people from outside to view, and therefore that takes away from what we actually know the sport is.
I think it's good to get new-time viewers in to try and dumb it down, because as we all know, there's a lot of ins and outs in banger racing, shall we say, and there's a lot of things that go on. So the first time I'm watching the show, getting all these rules, and sometimes that rule doesn't apply, sometimes this rule's brought in, and then you've got all the painting the cars and then used cars and then, whatever. It can get complicated. So to be honest, I think dumb them down maybe is sort of a good thing.
I suppose that was good. What was good about the Banger Boys series, because they, over 8 episodes, they could cut away and see, for example, when Mark would get time away to say, this is the difference between domestics and which should, I suppose, explain it more for people who are just casual viewers, because it was over 8 episodes, but that's because it was on the History Channel and not on BBC Two.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, now I'm kind of straying a little bit here. If you remember Gears and Tears, the Formula One.
That was brilliant. I think that's one of the best ever short oval series that has happened. That was fantastic.
I'm not going to say one of that was the best, because it showed how much crap you had to put up with. It showed all the infight and it showed all the whinge and all the backstabbing, but it showed the amount of work they put into it, how dedicated they were, and basically how you can either have it all or you can lose it all in one go. But it basically showed how much heart is in it. Like, they really put their lifeblood is racing.
And it also captured, probably for a long time, in all of oval racing, the exact moment of, within one formula, that amount of drama happening in that amount of time made a perfect TV show, and they caught it all perfectly. And it was shown in an unbiased way. It wasn't trying to be edited to increase the drama. It was just there, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, say, Discovery Channel, oh my God, coming up next, everything teeters on a knife edge. It was basically just because it was on BBC, obviously there's no ad breaks, so that they couldn't say coming up next. So it was basically a case of, I'd say, apart from any stuff in the garages, none of that was scripted. Like the scene where they have to change an engine on a Formula 1 stock car, which takes several hours, and they do it in about 45 minutes. Like, that was just pure TV. But no, certainly the best. There's another one that I'll put up. It's kind of more an American spin on it. There's a program called Mega Speed. It was made a few years ago. You see a certain caged contributor discussing racing on that. So they filmed it at Shamrock a few years ago. But you've Davey Patton of Team Buckle, you have Nutty Nige Riley of the Bears, and myself are speaking to the camera about racing. So it's an interesting one. But it's one of these programs, it's a series that they showed on Discovery Channel a few years back. So they basically dipped in a little bit to banger racing. But the funny thing was, the film crew who were there, they filmed the first race and thought, wow, that was awesome. And all the cars came back into the pits and they started being repaired. And they're like, what, you guys do this again? He says, oh yeah, like they just thought it was a demo derby, that was it. Heat 1, that was it. They didn't realise that, no, we're trying to repair these cars and get them back out again and do it all over again and then bring them back into the pits and do it again. So, like I said, we'll be putting a few links up on our Facebook page to the programs that we're discussing and a few more. So we'll probably come back to this in the new year in our quiet time, which is January. Not really much happening. So get a look and get clicking, have a look at the programs, and tell us what you think.
And does that close the little discussion? We've got any more?
I think it does.
It does. Okay.
I think so, yeah.
And I would be Sam. Let's move on to the Mouldy quiz. Have we got a guest yet, James? Have we got a guest?
We do. We not only have a guest, we have the newest member of the Cage team. Hello, Jake. Can you hear us?
All right, lads.
Hello, Jake.
Can hear you nice and clear.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Baptism of fire now. Don't get scared.
For those of you who don't know, Jake is the newest member
dodgy
of our
Irish
Cage.
accent. It's already scaring me.
Okay, get used to it.
I'll say you will get used to it, mate.
If you think that scares you, you wait to hear Matt's impression of Ed's accent.
You don't want to hear that.
Or you don't hear my English accent either.
So, Jake, I'm going to ask you the few questions I ask all the callers. What first got you into banger racing?
It was the old man, to be fair. He just sort of, like most really, sort of just took me along to it one day. And yeah, that was it really, sort of hooked from the start, I suppose.
So what track?
Yeah.
So what track was that at? So where did you first get involved at?
I can't remember whether it was Stanlake or Pacers Hill. The old Tadley Aldermaston track. We used to go there a lot back when it was dirt. To be fair, we used to go there more than Stanlake, and Stanlake's 10 minutes down the road. So it was my first memory is probably Stanlake, but I think like majority was Tadley, to be fair.
And now I suppose the next question is, what made you think that being part of this bunch of reprobates and being part of the Cage gang was a good idea?
Well, to be fair, I sort of just like the idea of it. Obviously, there's been quite a big gap open since, sadly, the sort of fall of Wasted. And I think that nearly everyone in the sport did enjoy reading Wasted at some point. And it seemed a shame there was nothing like that, really. Obviously, we've got Oval Chat and we've got your photo websites, YouTube and that, but nothing sort of filled the gap, whereas I think this sort of fills that gap to a point quite nicely. So, obviously, it's not in paper format, but it's in sort of a nice, modernised way, shall we say. So, it's good to be part of it.
Yeah, and to be fair, as soon as you became a member, you were straight away posting with fantastic photos. me and you were both at Wheels. That was just after you became member of Cage, and that photo of that wreck with 25 was a fantastic photo. And I think as soon as you joined, you were straight away getting involved, posting stuff up. So I think we're all really happy to have you on board. I suppose the next question is, what is your favourite moment in all of the time you've seen Banger racing? What is your number one that's in the front of your mind?
Number one, I don't know what number one is. Really, there's been quite a lot of good times. To be fair, some of the weekends have sort of stood out to me. Sort of the ones, like it's where it's not just literally just about the racing. It's sort of the social side of it and everything as well. So this possibly, I don't know, possibly the first time I went over to Emmon teams with Rick and the rest of them. That was quite a good laugh, to be fair, and it was fantastic racing over there. So all sort of rolls hand to hand. That was probably one of the best ones, to be fair.
No, I think we can understand that. I think a lot of what this sport is brilliant for is the community around it. So I think the weekends are always some of the best parts because you get to spend time around people that, if you tried to explain to someone who didn't know about stock car racing, they wouldn't understand. But then, when you get to spend a weekend around people like that, I think it's always one of the best ones. We're about to move on to the quiz. I'm going to explain the rules of the quiz. Every member of Cage is in the quiz, and as quizmaster, I finished bottom. So we'll have to see how this goes. I'm going to explain the rules. What it is, I'll ask Matt to take us on the rolling lap. The listeners at home will hear the rolling lap music. Unfortunately, due to technical limitations, we won't. But when we're ready to start the quiz, Matt will say green, green, green. Jordan, you ready on the?
All right, then.
Jordan, you ready on the clock?
Yes, mate, I am indeed. Got it all set up.
So Jordan's on the clock. You've got 10 questions and 90 seconds. If you pass, we'll come back. If you pass, we'll come back to it at the end. You get one lifeline. If you say thumbs down, Matt will say red, 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 and I'll give you a clue. Once you have a guess, after you've got the clue, we'll start the clock again.
Okay, yep.
So you got that. So you get one lifeline, thumbs down, thumbs down. Okay. Mr. Josie?
Yes?
Are you ready to take us away?
Yes, I am. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's go quizzing. And we're green, green, green.
Which National Hot Rod Gold Top is currently up for a Caged award?
Oh, gold top. Oh, no idea.
All right, we'll go on. What was the make of the limo that got T-boned at this year's UK Open at Ringwood?
Lincoln.
Correct. What does TMT stand for?
Too much crashing.
Oh no, TMT, the Banger team.
Right, okay.
Right, okay. What is the only current Speedworth track with a post and rail fence?
Yarmouth.
Correct. Which member of Team Black raced under the number 998?
Potty Junior.
Correct. Which driver delivered the shot on the rundown lap to this year's current Champion of Champions?
Jamie Poole.
Correct. Who is the current Caged Open under 1800s champion?
Aaron Charles.
Correct. When is the only time you should see a static yellow flag during an ORCI Banger race? You've got a clue if you need it.
Yeah. Thumbs down.
Okay. All right, John, start the clock.
Yep, got it.
Okay. So it's to do with which way the car is facing and what's oncoming. That's your clue. So as soon as you guess...
Driver side up?
Correct. Jordan, start the clock. Which milestone of subscribers...
Red.
That's not too bad, to be fair. He's done well there.
4 hours. 4 hours.
Not full,
You've
Correct.
done better than James.
You do better than me, and I write the quiz. So that's
Oh, well, you
6.
forgot somewhere then.
That's 6. You've done well there. So the questions that you either passed or got wrong. Which national hot rod gold top is currently up for a caged award? And that's Adam Maxwell, and he's up for most improved.
Okay.
Because he's done quite a lot with Team Sauer this year, and is up for most improved.
Yeah, I remember him getting a big T-bone in the frog eye, but didn't know he was into hot rods, to be fair.
I said, what does TMT stand for? I probably should have said, what does the team name TMT stand for? It's the money team, one of the big PRI teams. And
TMT. I thought you said TMC. Oh, right.
no. Well, okay. And then we got to which milestone of subscribers did Cage just pass? Just as we called Reds, we've actually just passed 8,000. We're heading up to the 10,000. We're not doing too badly. And the one question that we didn't get to would have been, who is the current under 1500s Kings Lynn National World Champion? Would you have known that?
I think, yeah, that's skipping mine out.
The clue would have been number 322.
Thomas Fox.
Oh, you would have got it as well. Oh.
Typical.
Anyway, six is not bad at all. So congratulations, and we're really happy to have you part of the team, and thanks for coming on the podcast tonight.
Brilliant. Cheers, lads. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Jake. Well done, mate.
Bye.
Correct. I love how you said that, James. But that's the Mouldy old quiz done for another week. And Ed, we've got some comments on the message board tonight. I don't know if you want to read through some of them.
We'll come back to that. But what was Jake's score?
6.
It was 6.
So that means I'm still in the lead as far as caged staff go.
Cage staff, yep. On our multi-million-pound wage, of course.
Of course,
To be fair, I think Ed did have a minute and a half, and the rest of us had a minute. Just to find a technicality in there.
I'm not complaining. I had my car built to the rules, and it passed scrutineering.
Yeah.
And it passed post-race scrutineering as well. So
I'm a clumsy thing, but...
And then I also forgot that I came up with the thumb down rule and spent 40 seconds on one question.
Yes, you did. Because when you done that, I was egging you on to say thumbs down so badly.
I forgot the red. I forgot the red flags. What a lazy marshal I am.
Yeah, exactly. The young marshal forgot he could go red.
Yeah, I actually am I really should remember that.
Yeah.
All right,
Good.
Ed, the message board. I've given you the keys to it. I suppose you're quite happy with the hashtag Cage Nation tonight.
I'm actually looking for the link right now. So if you can send it to me in the PM channel, that would be quite appreciated. Can't see where anyone's coming. Sorry about this interruption to our service.
What are you looking at?
Spinning.
There's quite a few on Facebook. I don't know if you can get through to the Facebook live feed.
Oh, the live feed. Hang on a second. We'll go in there. Sorry, we'll just put the spinning wheel on the channel for a second.
We're always well prepared here on Cage Full Throttle.
Yeah, we are. Doing my head in now. Can you send me the link, please?
I don't know how I can do. I tell you what, so I'll just read them out.
Yeah, read them out. Yeah. Oh, we got them.
You got them.
I think it's our level of professionalism that really sets us above at the podcast.
It is.
Right, Ed, are you happy?
To be fair, I'm always happy. No, to be fair, our level of professionalism is better than some other oval racing related podcasts. We won't name we won't name names, but we're not interested in joining their little group.
We are hashtag TPT, the proper podcast. I believe we called it earlier on in the year.
This is it. I still can't see anything. Is this under the links for our live video at the moment? I think people
I'll
are
tell you
just
what.
commenting.
I'll
Should
read
I
them
go in
out.
with the background
So-
music again?
No.
We say hello to Kazi Gregory. We've also got where is he? We've got Matt Shipham, who says we cannot see anybody, need to get a webcam. We don't bother doing that on the Facebook live feed. We just stick to
no one wants to see Matt naked. That's why.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a radio show. We might go to television at some stage.
You never know.
Yeah. Sky Sports haven't rung us up yet.
And Adam Robinson says he hopes to see us all at the Paddy Whack in Ireland. I'm sure you'll be there, Ed. That's almost a certainty.
I hope to be. I've a wedding the day before, like I've done a few times now. So
you hope to be.
We'll see how we get on. It promises to be an excellent meeting if the booking list comes true. So if everyone who's booked in turns up, it should be very, very good. But unfortunately, it seems to be the nature of the beast these days. You book in and don't turn up. So please honour your bookings, because there are people who might be able to get one.
And Ricky Daunton has got a comment regarding our little discussion earlier, saying they don't ever show the raw gritty side of banger racing and proper crashing, always a bit gimmicky. And that's it for the Facebook feed. On the Spreaker feed, we say hello once again to Adam Seek Brown, who's tuning back in tonight.
He's back.
He's back on the feed. He is doing some videos at the moment.
Top of the leaderboard, Adam Seek Brown, before we forget.
Still top of the leaderboard. And he's currently doing his last 7 videos on YouTube, I think. He's putting some effort into that as well. So, hello to Adam Brown.
He's uploading them right now. So, fair play to Adam. He has the ones he has up so far. He's the best of 2-litre stock cars 2018. He's the best crashes of 2018. He's the best in-car crashes of 2018. Then he's done a compilation video, the 2-litre stock cars, which are fantastic entertainment at times. He's the last 3 years of 2-litre stock cars, and he's big vans and caravans. Tonight is his PRI Legends video, and then tomorrow, my very last video, he says, the best 9 years crashes at Arena Essex from 2010 to 2018. So that'll be worth the wait. And fair play to Adam. He got a bit emotional, shall we say, when a special presentation was made to him at Arena. So it kind of shows how dedicated he was to the cause, and we will miss him terribly.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to finish. That finishes the message board. So thank you for your comments. And we finish things off on tonight's podcast with the fixtures taking over the next, I think, really 3 weeks. There's not much going on, really. So this coming Sunday, the 16th, we've got Mildenhall have a 2-litre National Banger British qualifying round. Over 20 cars currently booked in for that one. Saturday, the 22nd, sees Unlimited and Micro Bangers at Emmen. Boxing Day, we have Nuts Corner. It just says Caravan DD, Ed. I don't know exactly what class of bangers that is on the day throughout the normal format.
You could kind of call it basically back to basics, Caravan DD. It's, minimal preparation, minimal fun, but there's also back to basics at Agadoo that day on the 26th, and then on the Sunday, the 30th of December, you have big vans at Tullyrone, which is usually one of the highlights of the season, and you have rookies on that day as well.
And finally, I've got Saturday the 29th of December at Arlington. I'm looking forward to this one. Is the Back to Basic Van Bangers. Over 40 vans booked in for that one. That's a brilliant grid of vans, Back to Basic build for that one. And should it go well, Keithy is suggesting that there could be Back to Basic van fixtures at Yarmouth and Aldershot as well next year. So please make sure that one's a good one, drivers.
And also on that point, Matt, Keithy has also said that they've agreed that if they hit 50, the prize fund will double. So if there are 10 more banger drivers out there, build your cars and come, and the prize fund will double.
And just to make it clear, this is no buses. This is just literally transit size, maximum size vans. Nothing big.
But given that it's B2B, and sometimes you get a really weird mix in B2B, like say under 1800 cc's, you get like the bigger cars, like say, I don't know, like say some of the bigger Fords and that, like, and then you get stuff like Vectors and that. Would you get something really small in B2B vans, or are people going to be reasonable? Like, I'm not going to say Keithy's going to turn up in a Bedford Rascal like that, but
no idea.
Will he?
Yeah, because it's B2B. It basically goes from, you can have the car conversions to vans up to single hub transits, and because it's B2B rules, we basically just hope that no one's going to blitz a car conversion with a transit. So, but the amount of drivers booked in, I think it's going to be an amazing day.
It's going to be great. And I think that about closes tonight's podcast. For potentially another 3 or 4 weeks, we're pretty dead now in the banger season, really. Hopefully, if we do 3 weeks' time, we could reveal the caged award results of the national banger section. We've also got the rookie awards to bring out soon as well. So we're happy to bring the podcast to an end.
I think so.
You think
Yes,
so?
I think so.
So it's now time to tuck my my companions into bed. And
God, no.
so we say good night to Jordan Hollands.
Good night, Matt. Good night, everyone else. And if this is the last podcast before Christmas,
Oh yes,
have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
and good night to James Keane.
Merry Christmas to my fellow podcasters and Merry Christmas to the Cage Nation.
And good night to the Scrooge himself. It's Ed Fahey.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
I love that comment. And so thank you very much for listening to tonight's podcast, the last podcast of 2018. As we say, have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we will see you in 2019.